Hello, good evening, everyone. Welcome to this live session from British Academy Global. Today, we'll be learning about the use of connectors in OET, and we'll also be understanding how to use them, common mistakes, and how to score more using connectors. Now, I have often heard from my students that they are confused where connectors have to be used, what are they, and how can we ace them and score better. So, today's session is here to clear your doubts and to understand more so that you're able to score better using connectors in OET. So, first of all, what are these connectors? Connectors are also called as linking words or cohesive devices. That means that they join sentences and ideas. They make your writing and speaking clear, and you are able to get more marks if you use them effectively. Now, it is very important that you try to use them, and your speaking will flow naturally once you understand the use of connectors. So, let's see what exactly these connectors are used for. When you use a connector, it will help you to add similar ideas. So, quite often you may come across two sentences that you need to join together, or probably when you're speaking, you may have to list a number of symptoms. So, in order to do that, you can use connectors which will help you to bridge this gap. Also, you're able to show contrast or difference. So, if there is something that is different, so if I want to say a sentence that the patient is recovering, however, so this is showing you the difference here. Then you are able to cite reasons why something is happening. You are able to show results. You're able to also express if there's a particular condition that your patient is suffering from. You're able to show time order. First, something happened, second, something happened, third, something happened. We're able to list it better with the help of connectors. We are also able to compare two different ideas here, and we are able to show the purpose of why we are doing something, so that is why. So these are the multiple uses that connectors serve. Now, why are connectors very important? So connectors are important in your writing because they are able to show you how you can join things. Especially you have a referral letter or a discharge letter where you have to cite multiple things, then you are able to use words like because or therefore, however, furthermore. This will improve your clarity, your organization, and it also shows that you're able to construct sentences professionally. Apart from that, we also have in speaking. Now, in speaking, if you're using connectors, it will convey to the examiner that you're able to speak smoothly, you're able to explain reasons, you're able to give advice about something, you're able to show empathy. So you're able to construct sentences with because, so that. So you're able to properly structure your information. And it shows that your communication is more logical, professional. So the examiner, when he's listening to you and I'm able to structure my information in a proper way, he's going to think that, okay, this person is aware of the language. This person knows how to construct the sentences. So I can get a higher OET score. Now, we have different types of connectors. Now, we'll understand in depth what are the different types and how to use them. Now, the first thing students think is no, I need to know a lot of complex ideas or I need to know something where professionals use. Now, this is something that I want to tell students. Even if you're using basic connectors in a natural way, you're able to score more. So, the first thing that we have is simple connectors. Now, you have short sentences, simple ideas, simple sentences. You don't need to overcomplicate it. You can use simple connectors, usually like one word or a short phrase. So, and, but, so, because, however. Now, if you use these connectors, it's able to show that you can prepare simple sentences without forcefully trying to add a complex connector and even confuse yourself. So here we have given you an example. She was tired, but she finished her work. So the first part is one part, she was tired, but it shows you a contrast that she completed the task which was assigned to her. Second one is he stayed home because it was raining. So here we are showing the cause and effect of an action taking place. So he stayed home and because it was raining. So this is all that we have about simple connectors. Moving ahead, the second type that is there is complex connectors. Now, here, these are used to link more complex ideas, clauses, or sentences. So, they are often phrases or you have subordinating conjunction. So, suppose if you have a sentence where you have multiple things that you want to add, you can use sentences which begin with although, in spite of, or as a result of something, provided that, or due to the fact of this happening. So, here, look at the example that they have given you. Although she was tired, she finished her work. So, we can see we're trying to show the sentence that even though this happened, she completed her work. Then, he stayed home in spite of the sunny weather. Now, what are the functions of connectors? Now, we have different functions, and this is very important. So, here you can understand the functions very well. The first function that we have is addition. So, here we can add information. Now, suppose you have a sentence and you're writing the letter, you see case notes are there, and I have a lot of things that I have to add, but I feel that it can be joined together. So, I can use words with also, moreover, in addition, furthermore. So she has been experiencing dizziness. In addition, she reported frequent headaches. So suppose even while speaking, I want to say that the patient is taking antibiotics and also needs to complete a blood test. So when I have information which I feel can be combined or shows that I'm adding information together, I can use these connectors. Now, next, contrast. Contrast means I want to show one action is happening, but there's a difference. So, here, however, although, whereas, on the other hand, I can use these connectors to show the contrast between two things. So, for example, when I'm writing, I have one sentence which says that her blood pressure remains high. However, she is not experiencing chest pain. So, can you see that there is a contrast of information that is given? First, they said that her blood pressure is high. However, she is not experiencing chest pain. Even while speaking, the swelling has reduced. On the other hand, she complains of discomfort. So, we've already learned if we want to add information, we use words like also, in addition. If we want to show contrast, we can use words like however, although, whereas, on the other hand. So let's continue further now. Now, if you want to show cause and effect of something, so the first thing is I want to show why something is happening, and then I want to show what is the result of that happening. So I have words like therefore, as a result, consequently, due to, hence. So look at the first sentence. They have said that this patient, he missed his dialysis session. And now, because of this happening, therefore, his potassium levels have risen. So I'm able to show the cause and effect of an action with the help of this word, therefore. Now, she has been smoking for 20 years. As a result, her lung function is reduced. So here I'm showing that because she has been smoking, that is why this activity has happened. So you are able to properly show two actions, what is happening with the help of these connectors. Moving ahead, suppose I have things that are happening one after the other. So I want to show a sequence of things taking place. So here I can use words like firstly, next, then, finally, subsequently. So first with writing, I can say that she underwent physiotherapy. Next action, subsequently, her mobility improved. So I'm showing you the timeline that first she underwent physiotherapy, subsequently, her mobility has improved. Now, even while speaking, I will say first, I will check your blood pressure, then I'll record your weight. So here you're able to show the proper way actions are taking place with the help of these connectors. Next one, we want to show emphasis that is taking place. Now, emphasis means we want to highlight certain information. So, importantly, indeed, above all, significantly. So, here, if I want to say most importantly, I wrote everything about a patient, but I want to mention that she's living alone and she may need additional support at home. Even while speaking, above all, you should continue taking your medications as prescribed. So these are informations that you want the examiner to focus on, or you want the target reader to emphasize on this information. That is why we are going to use these words. Now, clarification or explanation. Suppose I want to clarify something. So here that is in other words, or I want to specify something. So here I can say that she has a condition that is difficulty in swallowing. Or in other words, this medication will help reduce your blood pressure. So suppose if you want to add extra information about something, you want to clarify, you want to give information here, you can use these connectors. Now, comparison. If I want to make a comparison between two things, similarly, likewise, in the same way. So, her sister has asthma. Similarly, she experiences frequent wheezing. So, first part, we want to show that the sister has a condition. Also, she has another symptom related to it. So, she experiences frequent wheezing. Even while speaking, we can say your diet should be balanced. Likewise, regular exercise will support recovery. So I hope you are understanding, everyone, what are we doing here with the different functions of connectors. So all these connectors are extremely vital for your writing and speaking to improve yourself. Now, I want to discuss about some common mistakes that are made while using connectors. The first one is overusing. Now, I have also seen there was a time there was this student who came to me and she was told that yes, you need to use connectors. So she decided, why don't I use it in every sentence? Now, if you feel that the sentence requires a connector, you can add it. But if this connector has no meaning or it does not add any value to the sentence, please do not use it just for the sake of using it. What happens here is you may end up losing your marks because the sentence may seem forced or relying too heavily on words like and, but. So you're repeatedly using the connectors. Misplacing connectors. Now, I have also seen this happening that sometimes students do not understand difference between cause effect or when you want to show that there is something that's different or emphasis. So understand the relationship between the ideas you want to show. You want to show an action that is happening, so therefore, however. So understand the sentence structure. Think about the relationship that the sentence has to show, and only then add that connector if it adds value. Next, incorrect punctuation. Now, sometimes if you're having a sentence which is a dependent clause, so suppose, although she took the medications, now this part is showing me a dependent clause that although she did that, she still didn't recover. Now, I need to separate these two ideas to show over here the first part of the sentence and the second part of the sentence. So here, I need to use proper punctuations like comma, full stop, so that the examiner is clearly able to understand the clarity between these sentences. Then, using contraindicatory connectors. Now, sometimes what happens is students use the same connector and they connect it with opposite meanings. So you're mixing although, because in the same sentence because you just want to add a connector. But here, what happens is if the sentence does not require it, you will ultimately lose your marks because the sentence will not make sense because you have two complete different meanings. So please understand the relationship and only then use it. Moving ahead, overcomplicating your sentence. Like I said, sometimes just for the sake of adding a connector in the sentence, your sentence will be overcrowded and difficult to follow. So keep it simple, keep it natural, and if you feel it adds value, add the connector. Now we go ahead to avoid certain connectors. Now, some connectors are very less suitable for healthcare letter writing. So suppose you want to add some emphasis, but your language has to be professional. So avoid using connectors which are too informal or casual, like besides, meanwhile, and. So do not use it if it is too informal. Try to keep it professional. So it sounds conversational. So when you're talking, it's okay, but not when you're writing. You can use words like therefore, in addition to that information, or however this happened. Then also using academic or too complex connectors. Words like furthermore, moreover in your writing, whereby, henceforth, may seem that you're trying to add too much information. So this is not required. So it can sound unnatural. You can use words like while, through, or which, therefore. This will help show ideas better. Next, outdated or old fashioned. So, thus, therein, forthwith. These are connectors that modern English does not use. So, we don't need to use words which are not suitable for modern OET. So, we can use here, immediately, these words which add more value to your sentences. Okay. So, lastly, I want you to tell, and I want all of you to understand connectors are your friends. These are things which can help you score more marks. They can help your ideas to flow more smoothly. And if you use connectors in the right way, you're able to get more marks. You're able to understand the relationship between sentences. And I tell this to all my students. Even when you're using a connector, it is not necessarily that I need to use as many as I can, or I need to ensure that my sentences have big and complex words. Stick to something which is clear. Stick to something which seems that your sentences are more professional and formal, that guide the leader effortlessly, and you're also able to understand your sentence themselves. So, a quick activity that you can do is based on what we have done today. Let's say we have understood connectors which can add addition, connectors which show emphasis. So, take one or two connectors, try adding two sentences, and see if I'm able to show the relationship better here. I'm able to show the connection between sentences here. I can add this connector. Another way that I would suggest what everyone can do is try practicing using these connectors in general sentences. Maybe not especially just directly jumping into your OET content, but while you're talking, okay, today I'm going to add this information using furthermore or moreover. I'm going to show a sequence of actions that are there. So use these. What will happen is your conversation or your speaking will become more effective. So then you'll be able to understand the natural flow of it. See, here they've mentioned that think of connectors as a conversation with your colleague. Now, if you are, let's say, a nurse and you need to explain some information to your colleague, it needs to be more precise, it needs to be polite, it needs to be easy to follow. However, if I'm going to overcomplicate my sentences, I'm going to use words that the opposite person may not understand. I'm completely using two ideas which have no relationship between them. Now, this is going to make the conversation tricky and it will lead to a waste of time where I need to sit and explain something again. So, think of the same thing that I need to add something which makes my concept seem better, fluent, and it helps me understand. So I hope you are enjoying this session. I hope you've understood the relationship we have seen here between the connectors, different connectors that we have added in our sentence. We have understood the functions. I'm also requesting you to please avoid the common mistakes that may lead you to lose your marks. So for more such sessions, keep watching British Academy. If you have any feedback, if you like the session, please like, comment on this video, and I hope you all have a wonderful day ahead. Thank you all for taking your time and watching this video. If you have reached here, requesting you to keep practicing using connectors. I hope this video helps you to score better and ace well in your exams. Wishing you all the best. Take care, everyone.